Okay, just going. Yeah. Okay, welcome to a tour of my garage. Special order from Doug. So, my 54 Ford cab, 54 F100 Ford cab project. So, first thing I had to do a little tour of the garage here. First thing I had to do is organize things a bit. Move my toolbox down to this end so I can get at it. Put up the curtain so we can do sandblasting. Not make a mess of the garage. The toolbox was here. Wanted to make room for my motorcycle. Joel's motorcycle stuck in here too while he's in Costa Rica. And a little bit of working room. Of course I can move the car out of here, but I don't have to come out and just work a couple hours. I set you down over here. So I got the curtain pulled out of the way so we can get in and out of the car. To come out and work, then I just come and pull it back. Move a few things to get it set up and alright, let me turn you this way. So corners here where I don't have them overlapped, then I just use the clamps and clamp it together to hold it together while I'm sandblasting. And then I'll put this back so we can see what's going on here. Works better in first take. My camera audio was so bad, I had to redo it. Anyway. Anyway, that's the cab. Plastic gives me about an 8 by 8 foot space to work. So I just got a cheap sandblasting bucket, and that's a hood. It's just a shield, grinding shield, and then I made a fabric hood to go over it, and taped the hood to the mask, and then I got a hose that comes from my compressor with a quarter turn valve to crack a little bit of air into the hood while I'm sandblasting. This worked out pretty good. I made just a screen stuck in a bucket, another piece jammed down inside to hold the screen. Works pretty quick for screening the sand. So like last night I spent maybe an hour total chipping the caulking out of the drip rail and then sandblasting it down, and still got a little bit. I had to chip some stuff out of the inside here that wouldn't get the sandblasting wouldn't get in there, and then little chunks like that. Tonight I'm going to sandblast that some more, see if I can clean it up a little bit more. And then it's rusted through right along here. You can see my finger right through the crack here. Let me get my flashlight out. So I'm thinking I can clean that up and then run a welding bead down that gap. It's not, like right along here, it's not rusted at all, so just in a few places. Otherwise, cab's actually pretty good shape. We've already done quite a bit of work. Get this off in here. Already done quite a bit of work on the forward part of the cab, and the floorboard. This is just a scrap piece of extra steel I was using. That's a drawer out of a desk that happens to be 20 gauge steel, about the same as the cab. So we've done quite a bit of work right through this area, replacing floorboards and putting in patches. This here was a hatchway to get to that reservoir for the brake master cylinder, but our brake master cylinder is mounted on the firewall, same as newer cars. And have some, so have a hole, got a hole right there to fill. Then last week I was working on this corner here. Had already added this patch panel here, but this, when I cut this part out, this right here was all rusted out, so I made a little patch panel and welded it in. And I thought this weld job was like really bad. I didn't like it. Even that one's, you know, not very good. Not sure, yeah. But friend of Wes is down in Medford. He does really high-end restoration jobs. He just finished doing a Studebaker pickup truck, about a 48. And I was looking at his. He had to replace the entire firewall. His welds were like that. They were big gobby things, and he thought that was fine. I was really surprised. So I don't know. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It gets pretty rough right up in there. But so I'm gonna wait. This is the patch panel right here. It goes on this thing. So that's the patch panel cut out, ready to go. But I'm gonna wait to weld that thing in because I want to get some poor 15 or rust bullet or something and get it up in there. Get it up in here a little bit. That's the door jamb well up around the bottom of the gas filler tube here before I put this panel on. Now I can get at some of this, well, not up in there. I can get up in this area here from the inside, from down in there, but that's a little tight. Get down in there and really coat that very well. So anyway, these patch panels are made set this thing up. I'm just using a little bit of this patch panel. They make this whole corner, corner. But I'm just going to use a little piece because I don't want to cut into that filler tube, and that thing's in pretty good shape. So underside's been cleaned. The previous restoration put undercoat on the whole thing, so it's a really gooey kind of tarry stuff and pretty hard to take off. But the only way to get it off is heat it up with a torch and then scrape it with a putty knife. Comes off gobby like. So the rain, like that quarter, the drip rail, then up on top here, right along in here, there's some rust. It rusted through because the previous restoration they put foam rubber in the headliner, and that foam rubber is pretty corrosive, so there's a fair bit of cleaning I need to do. I've done some already. I guess Mark got in here, maybe did a little bit of grinding. Oh, this side's still pretty bad. Pretty rusty right up in there. But it's rusted through a little bit. You can see one hole there. So there's a little bit of patching along here. And we talked about maybe filling this seam, just filling that in, but I don't know if we'll do that or not. I'll see. Mark would want to. He bought he bought the door latch kits to shave the door handles, to remove them, make it all smooth, and he wanted to cut the drip rail off. But the problem with that is on these things, the body, the bottom part here, doesn't necessarily line up with the lip right down in here. And if those two don't line up, they look like they line up maybe pretty good here, but if they don't line up, man, it's a royal pain to get it smoothed out. So I'm going to try and salvage that. Plus it makes it a lot more practical, especially if you live here in Oregon where it rains all winter long. So anyway, I'm not making a garage queen here, and Mark would like to. He'd like to have a really good, like, show quality truck, but not me, man. So that's the cab job, and back in a couple months we'll see how I'm doing.